Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get into it. All right. So shouts out to everybody that comes into the video. As you guys enter, you guys know the deal. Make sure you smash that like button. Also, make sure that you hit the bell icon twice so that you get every notification. And also make sure that you hit the description box, follow the other social media, hit the about page, follow those pages, and also make sure that you hit up my backup channels. All right. Shouts out to my man Vovo to Love in the building. What up with it? Good to see you as always, bro. So we're gonna get into talking about some diseases. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to my man AB Promotion in the building. What up with it, bro? So we got an article here from July 1st of 2022, and this is from Health Day, and it's talking about genetic mutations, and it's saying that genetic mutations may help to predict survival in Parkinson's disease. All right. Genetic mutations. Now, you guys know that genetic mutations are unexpected changes in the genome, unexpected changes in the DNA. All right. Things that are not going according to code. All right. Mutations. Those can be caused by a variety of different things. They can be caused by chemicals. They can be caused by the environment. They can be caused by a virus. They can be caused by free radicals. All right. Free radicals occur when UV light knocks off a electron, and that electron bounces all over the place, causes issues, causes cancer, causes mutations. Okay. So genetic mutations. Now, the question that everybody is probably wondering is, how would a genetic mutation help to predict survival in Parkinson's disease? That's the question. Shouts out to Al B. Black. So what do you guys think? What way do you guys think that mutations could possibly help to predict survival in Parkinson's disease? I'm going to tell you something. Say, for instance, you planned to make pancakes and you wanted to use buttermilk, but you don't have any buttermilk available. So instead of using buttermilk, you use water. What's going to be different about that? More than likely, those pancakes that you use the water in, for one, they're not going to have the same consistency. They're probably going to crumble, and they're probably not going to taste as good, because instead of going along with the recipe, you had to deviate from the recipe and add in unexpected ingredients or substitute ingredients. Shouts out to my man Mike Mellis John. So basically, a mutation is like going away from the recipe. All right. And everybody has mutations. Men are mutations. You know what I'm saying? Certain prominent features of groups of people are caused by mutations. You know what I'm saying? It's a normal, natural phenomenon that occurs. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Val. May decline the rate of deterioration. Facts. So now, knowing that, right, we already went through this critical thinking. You know what I'm saying? We did this little brainstorming thing in 4 minutes. AB Promotion comes up with the conclusion it may decline the rate of deterioration. So if we've come to that conclusion, then if there's genetic mutations, would that affect somebody with Parkinson's disease positively, or would that affect somebody with Parkinson's disease negatively? What do you guys think? If you guys think it would affect someone with Parkinson's disease positively, like help them live longer, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you guys think that it would affect people with Parkinson's disease negatively, like causing them detriment faster, give me a thumbs down in the chat. So now here it says Genetic mutations may help to predict survival in Parkinson's disease. Among patients with Parkinson's disease, SNCA or GBA mutations associated with shorter survival compared with no mutations. So that means that the patient with no mutations is more stable, which means that they have a higher likelihood of survival. Like AB Promotion says, positive. See? See how that reasoning works? So you guys just figured this out based on using logic. Everybody get themselves a round of applause. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says patients with Parkinson's disease, PD, harboring LRRK2 or PRKN mutations may have longer survival times than those without a gene mutation. All right. So these people with this particular kind of mutation, all right, there's this particular kind of mutation, may have longer survival times than those without a gene mutation, according to a study presented at the annual Congress of the European Academy of Neurology, held from June 25th to June 28th in Vienna. All right. Aymeric Lenoir from the Paris Brain Institute at Sorbonne University and colleagues compared mortality in a multi-center cohort of PD patients carrying SNCA, LRRK2, PRKN, or GBA variants versus a reference group of PD patients without any mutations. Data were included for 2,037 patients, 890 of whom had died during follow-up. Researchers found that compared to PD patients without mutations, those with LRRK2 or PRKN mutations had longer survival than those with SNCA or GBA mutations, which had shorter survivals. All right. So now LRRK2 causes a longer survival rate. All right. LRRK2 and PRKN mutations cause longer survival rates. All right. So that might be a situation where, you know, it's something like you replacing iron with titanium. You know what I'm saying? Now, these ones here, the SNCA and GBA mutations had shorter survival. All right. In multivariable analysis adjusted for age, sex, and time from symptoms and onset to first visit. These findings not only help increase our understanding of what drives the progression of Parkinson's, but they may also enable clinicians to have honest conversations with patients about expected survival times, just as cancer patients are told their prognosis, Lenore said in a statement. This can empower patients to make decisions about their care and the time they may have left. All right. So what do you guys think about that? That's pretty interesting stuff, huh? Parkinson's disease. Now, here's my question. How many of you guys know what Parkinson's disease is? Has anybody ever dealt with Parkinson's disease? If you guys know what Parkinson's disease is, drop it on us. Let us know what it is. What is Parkinson's disease? What happens during Parkinson's disease? There's another disease out there that's kind of off the hook, is the disease called Lou Gehrig's disease, also known as ALS. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same as Parkinson's, but it's kind of scary. You know what I'm saying? Just like this. This is kind of scary too. Anybody scared? Yeah, Muhammad Ali had it. Yeah, a lot of boxers have it. People that can take in a lot of neurological damage, they can get it. Michael J. Fox had it. If you see somebody shaking a lot, they can have Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's disease is caused by neurological damage to the extrapyramidal nervous system. Okay. And it causes tremors. It causes unsteady gait. It can cause things like tardive dyskinesia. If you guys know what tardive dyskinesia is, how many of you guys know what tardive dyskinesia is? If you guys know what tardive dyskinesia is, let me know in the comment section. And real quick, shouts out to everybody that's watching, guys. We got a 1-to-1 ratio on the live viewers and the likes. We got 10 and 10. Shouts out. You know what I'm saying? If everybody smashes that like button, we'll have 20. So if everybody can hit that like button and help us get to 20, that would be awesome. So now we back on talking about monkeypox, and this guy, he's looking very upset because from what I heard, he listened to some of my videos and he didn't like the way that I was talking. You know what I'm saying? He didn't like some of the things that I've been saying about monkeypox. I tried to apologize. He didn't listen. Lesions, headaches, debilitating pain. This particular group of men with monkeypox share their stories. Now, see, here they go again. Men who have sex with men comprise the vast majority of monkeypox cases in this unprecedented outbreak. 18 of them talked to NBC News about their experiences. Now, what do you think is going to happen here? And what kind of experiences is it that we're going to be hearing about? So this article right here is from July 6th, all right? Even as COVID-19 restrictions have loosened for many gay men, an uninvited guest called monkeypox has threatened to spoil long-anticipated festivities. Of the 6,924 confirmed monkeypox cases in the global outbreak, the vast majority have occurred among, all right, now pay attention, the vast majority have occurred among gay, bisexual, and other men who have sex with men, or MSM. I didn't know that. So that's interesting. MSM. I always thought MSM meant mainstream media. Apparently it means men having sex with men. Never knew. You learn something new every day. You learn something new every day. Now, didn't I tell you they could not continue to do this the way that they were doing it? I told you guys. I told you guys. And I don't know why this is not considered a sexually transmitted disease. Does anybody understand why monkeypox is not considered a sexually transmitted disease? If there's anybody that's listening in the comments that has the answer to that, why monkeypox is not considered a STD, let your boy know. Please let your boy know. So now here it says various health authorities report skin-to-skin contact during sex, experts assert, has likely been the primary driver of the global virus's spread thus far. Epidemiologists have stressed that monkeypox can still transmit among other groups of people, although the risk to non-MSM at this time does remain low. So then why are they stressing that? So my question is then why are they stressing that? What they need to be doing is they need to be stressing safe precautions to not contract it and to not spread it with the group that has the most of it. Yeah, Don Lemon. You know what I'm saying? Don Lemon. He had this violent affair with this guy named Dustin Heiss. You guys should look into that story. Google Don Lemon and Dustin Heiss one of these days and see what happens. Who knows about the Don Lemon and Dustin Heiss situation? If you guys know about Don Lemon and Dustin Heiss, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you're not familiar with Don Lemon and Dustin Heiss, give me a thumbs down. So now here it says monkeypox has tended to present relatively mildly during this outbreak and has caused no deaths outside of the 11. So now we got to bring it back. African nations in which the virus has become endemic since it was discovered in the 1970s. So now we already talked about this. And we're clearly dealing with a different kind of monkeypox because the monkeypox in Africa, as we talked about earlier, that particular kind of monkeypox is transmitted through contact with animals, usually rodents. Exactly. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker. Exactly. Two different kind of monkeypox. We talked about this. But you see, they don't like how it's looking. They don't like the way that it's going. So as soon as we don't like the way that it's going, you know what we got to do. We got to put the conversation back where? We got to put the conversation back where? You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, nevertheless, 18 gay men who contracted monkeypox told NBC News how it can cause unsightly and in some cases debilitatingly painful skin lesions and has left them stuck gloomy inside. The thought of a full 3-week quarantine is pretty scary, said John, 32, a New York City tech worker who believes who believes he contracted monkeypox from a guy he hooked up with during a recent trip to Los Angeles for the city's Pride events. I'm just feeling disappointed and bummed out. It was a bummer to miss celebrating Pride in New York. You know what I'm saying? So now this is interesting. Let's check this little video out right here.
The City Custom Cash Card automatically adjusts to your spending.
Hi.
You don't have to keep tabs on rotating categories.
This is the only rotating I care about.
It does the work for you. Earn cash back that automatically adjusts to your top eligible spend category with the City Custom Cash Card.
Now, across the country, there are more than 500 confirmed monkeypox cases in 33 states, D.C., and Puerto Rico. That's according to the CDC. But around the world, there are nearly 7,000 cases, and a majority of these cases affect gay men. NBC Out contributor Benjamin Ryan is joining us now. He's been tracking this story. So, Benjamin, we know monkeypox is hitting the gay community exceptionally hard right now. I know you talked to about a dozen or so gay men who have the virus or had. What did they tell you?
So the virus, which largely transmits through skin-to-skin contact, is effectively exploiting sexual behaviors and networks among men who have sex with men around the world, in particular those who do a lot of traveling and engage in sex with multiple partners. So many of the gay men with monkeypox I interviewed described a medical and public health system that was quite unprepared for them. Some showed up at emergency departments and were left to wait for hours while doctors puzzled over best practices, and some were sent home with incorrect diagnoses. So note that official reports indicate that most cases of monkeypox in this outbreak are relatively mild. But many of the men I spoke with said that while the presentation of their lesions across their skin may indeed have been mild, they nevertheless have suffered from severe rectal or genital pain, in particular when going to the bathroom. And I spoke with one.
Are they sure that those particular pains are from monkeypox? Are we sure that that's where that pain came from? Sure about that? Shouts out to my man Kareem Yee and shouts out to Cameron. What up with y'all? Are we sure that's where that pain's coming from?
Indicate that most cases of monkeypox in this outbreak are relatively mild. But many of the men I spoke with said that while the presentation of their lesions across their skin may indeed have been mild, they nevertheless have suffered from severe rectal or genital pain, in particular when going to the bathroom.
Okay, we need to do a poll real quick. Is that pain from monkeypox? Is that from monkeypox or is that from quote unquote kicking it a little bit too hard? The way that only they do. You know what I'm saying? Let's listen one more time.
Puzzled over best practices, and some were sent home with incorrect diagnoses. So note that official reports indicate that most cases of monkeypox in this outbreak are relatively mild. But many of the men I spoke with said that while the presentation of their lesions across their skin may indeed have been mild, they nevertheless have suffered from severe rectal or genital pain, in particular when going to the bathroom. And I spoke with one man, Harun Tulanay in London, who had an especially severe case, and like about 10% of people with monkeypox, he was hospitalized, in his case for 10 days in severe pain and unable to swallow due to the lesions.
Unable to swallow due to the lesions. Where was they at? Where was they at if you couldn't swallow with the lesions, my guy? Where were these lesions? Where were the lesions that stopped you from swallowing? See, nah, man. Hunter Biden likes women. As much of a anti-Biden person as I am, I can't let Hunter go out like that, man. Hunter likes the ladies. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen Hunter with no dude. I've seen him with like a school bus full of women and a cement truck full of crack, but I haven't seen him with any dudes. I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Hunter might get some shit from shooting up, you know what I'm saying? But Hunter ain't about to get this. That motherfucker be with some females. Oh no, man. Hunter be kicking it. Hunter minus the crack. You know what I'm saying? Minus the crack. Hunter kicks it the right way. You know what I'm saying? Multiple women, hotels, dirty money. You know what I mean? The problem is that motherfucker is a president's son. You're not supposed to be kicking it like a damn mafia kingpin. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to be doing that. But yeah, I don't think so. Like Hunter Biden's stories never be like, I woke up next to a dude and I have blossoming hemorrhoids. Like his stories don't ever be that. That motherfucker stories be like, I woke up naked next to 3 Chinese nationals and there was a Russian woman cleaning my room and I happened to leave my laptop in another state. He might be taking a couple for the team, for the Democrats, because you know that's what the Democrats promote. You know what I'm saying? But as dumb as Hunter Biden is, and as much as he be getting caught, man, he would have been got caught with a dude if he was doing that. That's what I think. He would have been got caught. That motherfucker leaves everything everywhere. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker's left women places. You know what I'm saying? He leaving his laptops all over the place. You know what I mean? Hunter would have got caught. But he might, though. I ain't taking nothing away from it. I'll meet you halfway on that one, Kareem. It's a possibility, bro. It's a possibility. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Val and Carla. What up with y'all? Yeah, he's sloppy. I mean, they got full whole videos of him. Like, I think Hunter Biden might be the only person that got more sex tapes than Kim Kardashian, except for no one wants to see his. That motherfucker has the least demanded sex tape that's out on the market. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit. And he tells too. I mean, he gets so high, he don't remember shit, but he'll tell his little fragmented memories though. Whatever little fragments and megabytes and kilobytes of memories that he has left, he'll talk about it. Yeah, dude, I was at this fucking hotel in fucking somewhere, and there was like 7 chicks naked in a hot tub with me, and this floating plate of cocaine came over in the hot tub, and I just fell asleep with my face buried in it. And when I woke up, there was like this hot Russian chick getting me dressed. Like, that's a Hunter Biden story. I think she was a spy. I think she worked for Putin. I don't know. But the one thing that I do know is I can't find my laptop anywhere. It's a beautiful sunny day on the East Coast. Yeah, we getting a little bit of that sun over here. You know what I'm saying? We're getting a little bit of that sun over here. And these people are having problems where the sun doesn't shine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's a feature we hadn't heard much about in the reporting that's been done in the last couple of months on this, Benjamin. So
that the news announcer looks concerned. He's like, yeah, ooh, you said sore ass and swollen balls. Yeah, I didn't hear about that, and I've been reporting on this.
The reports indicate that most cases of monkeypox in this outbreak are relatively mild, but many of the men I spoke with said that while the presentation of their lesions across their skin may indeed have been mild, they nevertheless have suffered from severe rectal or genital pain, in particular when going to the bathroom. And I spoke with one man, Harun Tulanay in London, who had an especially severe case, and like about 10% of people with monkeypox, he was hospitalized, in his case for 10 days in severe pain and unable to swallow due to the lesions.
Yeah, and that's a feature we hadn't heard much about in the reporting that's been done in the last couple of months on this.
He said, "Yeah, I ain't hear nothing about that." Damn, why is that so funny? Man, it's a risk. It's a risky lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? It's a risky lifestyle, for real, for real. Oh, God.
Benjamin, so what are these men saying about the availability of things like testing and the vaccines that are out there we've been hearing about as of late? Have they run into problems with either?
I thought he was about to say, what are they saying about the availability of things like testes?
There are those?
Absolutely. So the gay men out there are clamoring for what few supplies of the vaccine for monkeypox are being made available as the CDC gradually scales up distribution over the coming weeks and months. But most have had an extremely frustrating and difficult time obtaining the vaccine. So research says the vaccine might block the disease if given within 4 days of exposure to monkeypox and might lessen symptoms if given within 5 to 14 days. But
oh, this dude's voice, man. This dude's voice is like, it's really bad when you go to the bathroom. Shouts out to my man, Emmanuel Carey. What up with it, bro? Oh, Lord have mercy, man. God. Is this advertised? Man, this is how you know these conservatives are lame. How come Ron DeSantis ain't talking about that? Like, stay monkeypox free. You know what I'm saying? Come live in Florida with me and support the Don't Say Gay Act. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could really be getting on this if he wanted to. And Eric Adams is already hopping on it. I don't know if he's hopping on it literally or not. They say it causes issues with going to the bathroom, but I'm talking about with the campaign. Talking about the campaign, not the damn pain. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, offering these vaccines and different things like that.
Gay men with monkeypox told me that their attempts to get tested and work with public health contact tracers were often so slow and delayed that the clock just ran out on their close contact's ability to get the vaccine for this purpose.
All right, Benjamin Ryan with us today.
Oh, he had one on his throat.
Contributor for NBC Out. Benjamin, thank you.
So now here it says John is among the swiftly expanding group of 560 U.S. residents diagnosed with monkeypox thus far, a figure experts believe is a vast undercount of the true case number, given woefully insufficient testing. California, New York, Illinois, and Florida are the states with the highest number of confirmed cases. Some of the men, like John, who shared their stories about having monkeypox with NBC News, asked only to use their first names to protect their medical privacy. Most of the men interviewed expressed a strong sense of duty to draw attention to this new pathogen spreading so concerningly within their community. They also hope to combat stigma against those who contract the virus by giving it a human face. What? I feel like this is something that's about to hit pretty hard, John said. it's on us to look after our own. That's interesting. It's on us to look after our own. When they say that, what do they mean by that? It's on us to look after our own. That means hashtag LGBTQ1, doesn't it? So now here it says a worldwide outbreak likely fueled by sexual contact and travel. It's not fueled by travel. It's fueled by sexual contact. You don't get any diseases except for motion sickness from actual physical traveling. You get diseases from contact with disease. Cameron said dude was smiling to get his vax. You know what I'm saying? You know, certain people enjoy being poked one way or the other, or always. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we have 13 people watching. Shouts out to all 13 people watching. Definitely appreciate everybody who is enjoying the broadcast right now. If everybody smashes that like button, we'll have 29 likes, which would be awesome. So please help your boy out and smash that like button. Epidemiologists believe that they have traced the global spread of monkeypox to mid-spring gatherings, look at this, of gay men in Western Europe. Why do they keep showing black people then? Good for epidemiologists. Shouts out to the epidemiologists. These parties drew men from other cities, some of whom apparently carried the virus back home. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported last month that of the first 17 U.S. cases, 16 were in men who have sex with men, and 14 were in people who, between them, had traveled to 11 different countries during the 3 weeks before their symptoms began. Like, they gave two different statistics to throw you off. 16 out of 17 were in cases of men who have sex with men. 16 out of 17. $16 out of 17 cases, guys. So now here it says nearly all the men who spoke with NBC News about having monkeypox said that they were fairly certain that they could trace their infections back to sexual encounters. So my question is, why is this not labeled as an STD yet or a STI? That's my question. Question for you guys. Do you all feel that this should be labeled an STI or a STD? If you guys believe that it should be, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. Ever since we've been following monkeypox, all of the information that we've gone over about monkeypox, in my opinion, just on my YouTube channel alone, there's enough information to say this is a sexually transmitted disease. In my opinion, on this channel alone, there's enough information to prove that. Why is it not being called that is the question. That's the question. Now, real quick, guys, since we have a couple people in here, I want to ask you guys a question. Okay, so I've finally gotten enough subscribers on this channel to where YouTube is now providing me scheduling times. And what I was wondering is, would you guys like me to upload short videos to this channel as well? If you guys want me to upload short videos to this channel, drop some radiation emojis in the chat. If you don't want me to drop short videos and you want me to continue just live streaming, give me a fist pump. So now here it says quite a few traveled during the weeks before developing signs of infection. Justin, who is 38, said after returning home from May 18th from a 2-week European vacation, he became the 14th person in the United States and the second in New York to be diagnosed with monkeypox. He said his case started with a bad fever, which, along with symptoms such as swollen lymph nodes, headache, body aches, chills, and exhaustion, are common monkeypox signs. Soon after, the telltale lesions crept across his body. Monkeypox typically has an incubation period of about 6 to 13 days, but this stretch of time between exposure to the virus and emergence of symptoms can last as long as 3 weeks. Researchers have not studied whether the virus transmits asymptomatically. At least in theory, it might, experts say. The period of active lesions when the virus is most certainly contagious lasts about 2 to 4 weeks, according to the CDC. Jeff, who is in his mid-30s and is a university administrator in a mid-Atlantic state, spent a couple of weeks traveling through Europe through early June. He made stops in London, Paris, and Amsterdam and Berlin, having sex with multiple partners on the way, he said, including in a bathhouse and a sex club in the German capital. I mean, what did you expect was going to happen? Well, I'm not close to monetization on this channel, but they gave me a schedule. I have enough videos, enough content, and enough watch time to where they can start giving me more accurate analytic data. So now I can schedule things at times and certain times and different things like that. So while they finally have it, I want to try to utilize it. Hopefully they don't take it away. You know what I'm saying? Lube dispenser on the wall instead of a hand sanitizer. Yeah, when they go into KY, they ain't talking about Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we're out here doing. Now, in most cases, wouldn't they call this kind of like a little bit of degeneracy? And I'm not specifically talking about the man having sex with man part, despite the fact that, I'm going to just leave it at that, I mean, having sex with multiple partners, would that be acceptable for a heterosexual couple to do, or would people be called names? They would be calling people names. You know what I'm saying? There's hundreds of men in this club, Jeff said, recalling considerable skin-to-skin contact between patrons. Obviously, no one's coming down to wipe down the sling. That's disgusting. I mean, my question is, what do you expect? What do you expect? Seriously, what is the expectation here? You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Annie Remian, an epidemiologist at the UCLA Fielding School of Public Health and leading monkeypox expert, said in reference to the sharing of sex slings, given the risk of transmission by fomites, contaminated objects, it's theoretically possible for monkeypox to be transmitted in this manner. So they up here swapping sex swings without, bleach wiping it down. "9 days after returning home, Jeff came down with an intense fever and headache. Peter, who was 28, said he went to a sex party in a house on Fire Island. Oh, you go to some place called Fire Island and then wonder why your butt hurts when you leave? You know what I mean? That's like if you go to a sundown town. Like if you go to a place called Clansville and then you wonder why you're dealing with racism. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and his name is Peter. I wonder if his last name is Piper. I wonder if this motherfucker's last name is Piper. Peter, who is 28, said he went to a sex party. Jesus Christ. I wonder where they stuck all the kazoos. In a house on Fire Island, a gay beach enclave about 2 hours from New York on June 14th. And that out of approximately 15 attendees, he and at least 6 other men now have monkeypox. Jesus, man. Shit, that's almost half. We was rolling around with each other for a little bit, and now we got a disease. Duh. Duh. I'm pretty sure I knew who I got it from. Yeah, from that damn sex party your ass went to. Said Peter, who works in tech in a Rocky Mountain region city, but has been marooned in Seattle in isolation since receiving his monkeypox diagnosis during what he hoped would be a fun city to an island to attend the city's Pride festivities. I mean, that's what you do for Pride, is just you have an orgy, like that's Pride. Dude, we're gonna be fucking swingers. Like, seriously? That's Pride? I thought Pride was like, you know, like you're proud of, you know, your sexual orientation and whatever that comes with. Not that you're just slinging dick all over the place. Like, I didn't think that that was what that was. He's at the 5, the 4, the 3, the 2. Touch dick. He's buried in the end zone. Like, yeah. No. You know what I'm saying? Really? Really? Really, though? I'm pretty sure I know who I got it from, said Peter, who works in tech in a Rocky Mountain region city, but has been marooned in Seattle in isolation since receiving his monkeypox diagnosis during what he hoped would be a fun visit to attend the city's Pride festivities. Thinking back on it, he said, I do remember there being a little hard spot on that man's particular penis. And you still... I swear that's what this shit says. I'm gonna blow these words up so y'all can see this shit, because I'm not making this up. Y'all gonna be not knowing when I'm joking and thinking I'm saying this shit. Nah. It's not me. See? Can you see it? I mean, we're talking about club bathroom standard of cleanliness here. We're talking about in the cracks of the club bathroom where the urinals are attached to the wall level of cleanliness. You know what I'm saying? You know they don't clean up no damn club bathrooms, and don't nobody ever flush the toilet. So it's just weeks of just bodily fluids and urine stewing. You know what I'm saying? It's just weeks of bodily fluids stewing. Man, this is crazy. I mean, it wouldn't dawn on somebody like, yo, you know, if I do this, I might just get a disease. That motherfucker said, yeah. Been around the world, yeah. And been player hated. Listen, Peter said that gay men should be vigilant in looking for signs of monkeypox on their bodies and those of their sex partners. Yeah, not like how he was, right? Not like this. Now that I think about it, there was a little hard spot down there. Don't be afraid to say something, he said. Now they have to deal with the oppression of a chaotic healthcare system. You know what I'm saying? It's not just bad enough that they have to deal with monkeypox. Now we have to deal with an oppressive healthcare system. Many of the men with monkeypox reported having extraordinarily frustrating experiences, plagued with dead ends and delays, as they sought to get tested for the virus and work with public health officials to provide names of their recent close contacts. I mean, do they even remember? Because they be them have sex with like everybody. It seems like they get around. You know what I'm saying? Seems like they get around. Some saw the clock run out for them or their partners as they attempted to secure scarce doses of Jynneos vaccine for monkeypox, which research suggests may prevent some of the symptoms of the disease if given within 4 days of exposure, and at least reduce symptoms if given within 5 to 14 days. Using the vaccine in this way is known as post-exposure prophylaxis. Mark Hall, who's 41, a New York nurse practitioner, said he developed his first lesion on June 24th, the Friday of the city's blockbuster Pride weekend. But thought that it was an ingrown hair and didn't realize that it was probably monkeypox until 2 days later, after already having attended several Pride events. During his urgent and determined efforts beginning that Saturday, he wasn't able to get tested, receive confirmation that he had the virus, and finally start providing names to health department contact tracer until Thursday, he said. Given the vaccine scarcity that is hobbling the nation's response to the outbreak, only 40% of Hall's close contacts, he reported, were vaccinated by July 5th. Another 6 have vaccination appointments booked for this week. But by now, much of the 14-day window for the vaccine's use as PEP has closed for his unvaccinated contacts. One of the men already has a presumed case of the virus. Like COVID and HIV before it, monkeypox has established an epicenter in New York City, which as of Tuesday had 111 confirmed cases, up from 87 on Friday. So this thing is spreading very quickly. This thing is spreading very quickly, guys. What do you guys think about the spread of this thing? Hall said that he was dismayed to learn that the city's health department can still only run tests for 10 people a day for orthopox virus, the virus family to which monkeypox belongs. So New York City's health department can only run 10 tests per day. We knew that Pride was coming up, he said. Why were we not increasing testing capacity earlier, knowing this was going to be a problem? Michael Lanza, a spokesperson for the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, said that the city is doing as many tests as possible given national resource constraints. Now, here's my question. Why are there national resource constraints on monkeypox test availability? Does that make any sense? So now next it says the process for testing a specimen in time is intensive, and the current test was never designed to be high throughput, he told NBC News in an email. We are working with our federal partners, New York State and government commercial labs, to see how we can increase capacity. But beginning this week, we have one commercial laboratory on board to assist with testing demand. Okay. Rob Short, who is 29, expressed frustration that he never got a call from public health officials about receiving the vaccine as PEP after he attended a particular gathering in Washington, D.C. in early June. He said he is certain local health authorities consider it a spreader event because he's aware of other attendees who have received contact tracing alerts about it. Getting the vaccine promptly, he said, might have spared him an infection that has sent him into isolation, leaving the personal trainer unable to earn income from teaching group fitness classes. For some, isolation isn't optional. 2 weeks ago, the County of Los Angeles Public Health Department sent Matt Ford, who is 30, a court order which the actor shared with NBC News to remain isolated until instructed otherwise. So let's watch.
So my name's Matt. I have monkeypox. This shit sucks and you don't want it. For context, monkeypox has been around for a few decades. It's in the same family as smallpox, but recently there was an outbreak in the UK and in Europe, and now more recently in the US. In a lot of major cities, it's starting to explode. As of now, it seems to be primarily affecting queer men, but it can easily spread to anyone. And according to my doctor, and also to this NPR article, the CDC is doing a really lackluster job of tracking how many cases there actually are due to lags in testing and just generally not being on top of it. These are the main ways it spreads. So you can see it's mainly through direct body, prolonged skin-to-skin contact, through respiratory secretions, so like kissing or sex or whatever, sharing items such as bedding or towels that have been exposed, etc. And I can tell you what it's like to have it because I currently do, as you can clearly see. So warning ahead, there are going to be some gross spots. You can see these here on my face. These are thankfully healing the fastest. I've got these on my arms and hands that you can see. They are really not cute. Got one on my tummy here. And those are just a few of the ones on my body. I think in total I counted more than 25. And there are also some in more sensitive areas, which also tend to be the most painful. As in, it was so painful I had to go to my doctor and get painkillers just to be able to go to sleep. Like,
what up with RG?
Really fucking painful. And in addition to the spots, even before those, there are intense flu-like symptoms. So, like, I had a sore throat, cough, fever, chills. I was sweating through my sheets at night. Just overall really miserable, swollen lymph nodes. Not good. So the reason I'm speaking out about it is because I tweeted about it and it kind of started to blow up. I think mainly because it's one thing to know there's a monkeypox outbreak happening, but it's another to know exactly what that means for someone's body, and particularly what it means if it happens to a friend or to you. There are thankfully newer vaccines coming out currently to prevent it. I think it's using mRNA technology. I'm not really sure, but I know that it's much better than the smallpox vaccine that we do have. And they're currently starting to offer them in larger cities, but supply is really low right now. So I'm advocating, telling everyone, if you can get that vaccine, go get it. In the meantime, I'm urging you to please be careful, be safe, be cautious of prolonged skin-to-skin contact with someone who might have it. Not to add to any stigma whatsoever, no shame in this game, but you do not want this shit. I cannot overemphasize that.
I mean, there's kind of a reason why there's a stigma. You know what I'm saying? And it's because a similar group of people keeps getting it. So now here it says there's a conundrum, said Jennifer Nuzzo, an epidemiologist at Brown University. We clearly need people to isolate as long as they're contagious. How about be sexually responsible? And when I say sexually responsible, again, that doesn't have anything to do with the lifestyle. It has to do with the decisions. You don't need to have an orgy to show you're proud of being LGBTQ. No one has an orgy to show that they're proud of being heterosexual. People have orgies because they want to have an orgy. You know what I mean? Like, people have orgies because they want to have orgies. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 13 people watching and we got 18 likes. If everybody can smash that like button and try to push those likes over 20, and also try to push those likes towards 100 where we need to be, that'd be great. Make sure you guys share the video out, all that good stuff. So now here it says we clearly need people to isolate as long as they're contagious. That is the path to containing this virus and keeping it from becoming entrenched. but we know from any past outbreaks that punitive approaches can backfire by driving cases underground. For this particular virus, because the length of isolation period is quite long, it's particularly burdensome for people to isolate. In my opinion, we live in a time in the world where it's the easiest to isolate. It's the easiest to be isolated. Do you guys think that it's not really that big of a challenge to isolate yourself in today's world? It's really not. So now here it says Nuzzo stressed that people with monkeypox may need various forms of support, including income and housing support to help make it through isolation. So that's where our reparations are going to go. Shouts out to my man Drago. Drago says they keep putting their mouths on everything. Yeah, and swallowing. You know what I'm saying? Jeff, for one, has questioned the wisdom behind such strict isolation for a virus that largely seems to require a considerable amount of physical contact to transmit. Let's actually just rest on that real quick. It's a virus that largely seems to require a considerable amount of physical contact. So I mean, you're really rolling around in this giant human Jenga game with men for a very long time. That's interesting. Exactly. That's my question. Why would anybody do that? And why would anybody do that unprotected? First question, why would you do it? Second question, why would you do it unprotected? Somebody make it make sense. Somebody make it make sense. Why would you do it? Why would you do it unprotected? It does not make any sense whatsoever. So now here it says, many experts have asserted that if the virus does transmit through air, it likely requires hours of close contact to do so. So regardless, if you get it through the sexual route or if you get it through the air, it takes a prolonged amount of time being around that to contract it. It takes a prolonged amount of time to attract it or to contract it. He said he's been in regular contact with a public health officer in his home state who has leveled with him that frankly it's not totally safe for him to go out. No shit. According to the CDC, there are no specific treatments for monkeypox. All right, no specific treatments. So that's something that people should be paying close attention to as well. There's no specific treatments for monkeypox. You know what I'm saying? Although there are antivirals that can nevertheless be used medically in vulnerable populations, such as immunocompromised people. Many of the men who spoke with NBC News said that when they did visit healthcare facilities, if only to secure a proper diagnosis and out of a sense of obligation to alert public health authorities, they were met with a system that was wholly unprepared for them, with no past experience managing patients with a virus that previously has rarely been seen in the United States. Members of emergency departments were confounded over what safety protocols to observe. Men reported being rushed into isolation rooms and left alone for hours, their imaginations drifting to dystopian scenes out of movies like Contagion or E.T., as staff clad in personal protective equipment puzzled over best practices. I mean, hey, if your brain goes to that kind of thing, thinking about where you are, then maybe you should think about how you got there. You know what I'm saying? My man Carlton Way says African Americans are disproportionately hit with monkeypox. This narrative is coming soon to white media near you. If you guys believe that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't believe that, give me a thumbs down. What do you guys think? Some men said that they were sent home with an incorrect diagnosis before they finally found a healthcare provider to diagnose them properly. I now know what it felt like to be the first HIV patients many decades ago, said Alex, who's 32, a biologist in Washington, D.C., who said he believes he got monkeypox from a gathering of a few dozen OnlyFans creators where they were filming sex scenes with one another. Duh. I mean, are we supposed to have sympathy here? I mean, duh. Hello. I think I might have gotten sick when I was at this OnlyFans shit with a few dozen sex providers. What? What do you guys think about that? Now, have you guys heard this much detail about this on the mainstream media? Y'all keep it up in the comment section, please. He said he's heard the event likely led to at least 3 other cases. Thank goodness it was only 3. Sheesh. Alex said that when he went to a DC hospital with the worst pain of his life, that the doctors had no idea what to do. They were on Google, literally. Peter said that the worst part of his trip to the ER at a Seattle hospital was when another man who had initially been in the same room with Peter walked in the hallway and started speaking with a nurse about Peter's condition. She loudly said, "Are you shitting me?" Peter recalled the nurse saying, "It was really horrible to feel that stigmatization. Like I was this dirty patient." Well, nobody said that he said anything about you. Ugh, right. Monkeypox looking at C19 like we're in this together as diseases. And at them orgies, those guys be looking at each other like we're in each other together as men. Oh, God. The fact that these patients are not receiving appropriate and compassionate care demonstrates a real need for better education and training of healthcare providers, especially those working in sex health clinics. Not really. They just need education. They need education to use prophylactic disease preventing methods like condoms. What do you guys think about that? Val says they will make it about black people. When this first hit, they kept showing pictures of black people, even though this type came from Europe. Facts. This type came from Europe. Not knowing how to test for monkeypox is not an excuse. Jeff, however, said he was delighted by the non-judgmental care he received when he visited his hometown's ER. I'm so lucky, he said. They were respectful. No one didn't believe me or was like, oh, you were out here being a hoe in Germany. No wonder. I mean, that's kind of what was going on. That's kind of what was going on, though. You know what I'm saying? Outside of formal medical care, networks of men with monkeypox have opened up, with men swapping self-care tips through direct messages and social media posts. Ford, for one, recommended soaking in Epsom salt baths. Jesus, so they can start having bath salt breakdowns. What do you guys think? I don't know. Some have become amateur epidemiologists. Short said he and his friends have observed a pattern in which men who engage in, oh no, some have become amateur epidemiologists. Short said he and his friends have observed a pattern in which men who engage in receptive anal intercourse tend to get an initial outbreak of sores in the anal region, while the insertive partners get them on their genitals. None of this is anything that I needed to know about. None of this is anything that I needed to know about. Spread the message and not monkeypox. Do it easily by using hand sanitizer and smashing the like button. You know what I'm saying? Why is this not considered a STD yet? Why, guys? These motherfuckers out here booty queefing and then having pain when using the bathroom. So now here it says, meanwhile, epidemiologists have observed that in some monkeypox cases, this outbreak is atypical compared with cases in previous contexts in the way they first present as lesions in the genital or perianal areas. For some, severe pain. According to a recent World Health Organization report, perhaps 10% of monkeypox cases for which there is data in the outbreak have led to hospitalization, either for treatment or isolation purposes. A recent UK study found that hospital admissions were due to pain or infections of skin lesions. Some of the men who spoke with NBC News said that while their skin lesions may have been rather mild, I'm sorry, damn, you could see where my mind is going because this whole damn thing is rather wild. They have experienced extraordinary pain in their anorectal region or genital area, in particular when urinating or defecating. I mean, fuck. Oh no, never. Those sound like a kind of jeans that motherfuckers will wear. Rump wranglers that zip up from the back. Oh. Oh, oh no. Oh no. Rump wrangling. That's classic. Rump wranglers. Oh God. Good Lord. Oh my God. Hey, what if you wore a Rump Wranglers pair of jeans with a Dickie shirt on? Oh my God. And then you tucked it in. You're putting yourself at risk for a fucking monkeypox outbreak. Dickies and Rump Wranglers are now a combination that's not recommended by the World Health Organization or the CDC. Mm. 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 Apple bottoms. Mm. That shit gonna go from a pair of jeans to a symptom. You know what I'm saying? People are now presenting at the ER with a symptom called apple bottom. And it's because they feel kind of sour. That shit's crazy, man. Ugh. God. It is the most painful shit you'll ever take in your life. Oh, come on, Short said, to the point where I almost passed out. That's because you pushed down too hard and you caused your vagal nerve stimulation. Carla, you need to recommend to Professor Black. You need to recommend to Professor Black Truth. Hazmat suits. You never know if someone will try to spray, and you'll be protected to keep it away. Hazmat suits. White supremacy is very fluid, even bodily. Be one and be well. Look at this. Hold on real quick, man. Hold on real quick because we have to bring this in. We have to bring this in. Okay, now I'm going to show you exactly what causes monkeypox. I'm going to show you exactly what causes monkeypox. How many people were aware of this right here? You guys remember when this happened? CNN anchor Don Lemon is sued by a Hamptons bartender over alleged assault after grabbing his genitals and then shoving his fingers in the man's face, asking, "Do you like pussy or dick?" while out partying. I mean, I told you these people be aggressive. Don Lemon. You know what I'm saying? Don Lemon is being sued by Florida man Dustin Heiss, who claims he was assaulted by the CNN anchor at a Hamptons bar. Heiss claims that he was out with co-workers at Murph's Backstreet Tavern in Sag Harbor. Sag Harbor, huh? Around July 15th of 2018 when Don Lemon approached him. Mr. Lemon, who was wearing a pair of shorts, they were probably pink, sandals, and a t-shirt, put his hand down the front of his own shorts and then vigorously rubbed his genitals. Lemon allegedly then removed his hand and shoved his index and middle fingers into the plaintiff's mustache and under his nose. Lemon categorically denied those claims. The network added the plaintiff in this lawsuit has previously displayed a pattern of contempt for CNN on his social media accounts. The claim follows his unsuccessful threats and demands for exuberant amount of money from Don Lemon, they said. This guy, Dustin Heiss, and Don Lemon used to be an item. This is a monkeypox situation right here, is what we're looking at. You know what I'm saying? If you guys heard of this story, give me a thumbs up. If you guys have never heard of this story, give me a thumbs down. I told you this actually happened. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how, like, just literally everybody's not talking about that. Because that was hilarious. I did a YouTube video about that, I want to say in 2018. You know what I'm saying? I was laughing so hard while I was doing that shit. Oh, man. Don Lemon, you're messing up, buddy. You're messing up big time. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, for Hall, a lesion in his urethra has left him dreading urinating. So now he's scared to urinate. The Friday 13th music plays every time this guy gets an urge. I bet you he's dehydrated in a motherfucker. How much y'all want to bet this motherfucker don't drink water anymore because he just doesn't want to pee? Yeah, he went on Megyn Kelly's podcast and talked about it too. Oh, Megyn Kelly was being so petty in that podcast, man. I was laughing so fucking hard. Damn, I was like, this bitch. I was like, God, this woman is a bitch, but this is some funny shit. So now here it says, it sort of feels like it sounds like it feels like 1,000 burning knives are trying to come out of my urethra at the same time. Hey, listen, man, 1,000 burning knives coming out of your dick could be a power move on the LGBTQ version of Street Fighter next time one comes out. You know what I'm saying? You can have monkeypox power, rainbow spirit, you know what I'm saying? To come across the back of the screen, jump up real high like they do, fucking pants unzip in the front, and just a barrage of 1,000 burning knives just tear into your opponent. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it, why not? That's what we're doing out here these days. So now here it says New Yorker Gerald Feebles. Red flags if your last name is Feeble. 25 said monkeypox saddled him with harrowing pain all over his body, including lesions in his mouth and on his gums. Jesus. Lymph nodes in his groin swelled to the size of fists, making it agonizing to do anything but lie down. I mean, this should kind of tell you something. I mean, this should tell you something at some point. All jokes aside, I mean, damn. You know what I'm saying? And let me guess you. Let me guess you just can't wait to get better. The pain became so unbearable, Feeble said, as he waited for hours at Lenox Hill Hospital in Manhattan last week. Every joint in my body hurts. Ultimately, Feebles, who is an employee relations manager for the urgent care company MedRite, was given antibiotics in a single oxycodone pill and sent home with a lidocaine topical solution. Oh. For where? His discharge note, which he shared with NBC News, didn't indicate the morphine prescription written for him. So he went an extra day in extreme pain before he realized the opioid was waiting for him at the pharmacy. Feeble said that after he gave an interview to a local NBC affiliate, he got a call from an infectious disease team at Columbia University led by Dr. Jason Zucker about receiving the antiviral tecovirimet on an investigational basis. His lesions have since been clearing up, an effect he attributed to the antiviral. In an email to NBC News, Zucker confirmed that he's been prescribing the antiviral to people with monkeypox under what's known as an expanded access protocol developed by the CDC. Harun Tulani, 35, also spoke last week from the hospital in his case in London. He has been unable to eat for days due to lesions in his mouth and swelling in the lymph nodes in the back of his neck so intense that he couldn't swallow. Shouts out to U-Law. What up with it, bro? His left nostril was covered in a purple and black lesion. Like Feebles, he said he was experiencing extreme pain all over his body, which physicians were treating with opioids while giving him tecovirimet. Oh, come on, man. I mean, this should tell you something. Jesus. I mean, like, doesn't this tell people something? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 19 live viewers and we got 19 likes. You guys are doing great with the 1-to-1 ratio. If everybody watching can smash that like button, that would be great. Smash that like button and let's get to 38. So now here he says, hello from day something. I'm too tired to hide my lesions. Sorry for my inconvenience. I mean, no, man. No. Just no. Yeah. Shouts out to Draga and shouts out to Keldrick. What's up with y'all? Draga says, opiate addiction is going to skyrocket. Yeah, I think so. I think so. If you guys agree with Draga that the opiate epidemic may skyrocket, give me a thumbs up. So now here it says, Tulani, who is training to be a volunteer coordinator at the HIV nonprofit Positively UK and is HIV positive, said he has heard of other Londoners with monkeypox refusing to isolate. He said he hoped that by sharing his ordeal, he could help persuade people to be more cautious. I just want to bring people to their senses, said Tulani, who was released from 10 days in the hospital on Monday. I've had the worst 3 weeks of my life. In a press conference Wednesday, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, Director General of the World Health Organization, praised people who have been speaking out about their experiences having monkeypox. This is a positive way to break down the stigma about a virus that can affect anyone, he says. So again, they keep saying about a virus that can affect anyone, which I'm sure this virus can affect anyone. However, I've never seen where there's a particular group of people that are the main people being affected and they try to downplay it and keep saying that it affects everyone. Was everybody represented in this article? My question is, was everybody represented in this article? Like, that's really weird. So my question is, what is the agenda there, guys? Why are they not representing it like that? It seems like they're just hiding things. It seems like they're leaving stuff out. They're omitting stuff. I mean, like, I don't understand why they're doing that. Does it make any sense? Yeah, exactly, Val. They only spoke to LGBTQ. So now, how many people know where Tarrant County is? I don't know if you guys are aware of Tarrant County, but as you can see from here, Tarrant County has had a spike in their C19 numbers, which is interesting because, again, we're not hearing much about C19 anymore. So my question to you guys is, why are we not hearing about C19 anymore? What's going on?
Here we go again.
It's a pandemic. We're still in it.
After the holiday weekend, Tarrant County's COVID community spread shifted up to high.
We should still continue to be careful.
Health officials in Tarrant County issued a warning Thursday recommending for people to mask up indoors again.
I actually don't mind doing it because I've had COVID before and it's horrible.
Cecile Barrow is being extra careful still, but at this point, many have moved on.
It's just not a thing anymore. Life's just back to normal.
It may have felt that way for a while, but cases are rising and quickly. The county reported more than 700 new positive cases on Wednesday. That's more than 10 times the amount from a month ago. Before Memorial Day, the county only had around 60 new cases a day.
That's a lot of disease activity for one illness.
That's Tarrant County Public Health Director Vinny Tanasia.
After Memorial Day, we went from low to medium. And now after 4th of July, we've gone from medium to high.
The county's COVID hospitalizations have also gone up. If you still don't have a booster, Tanasia says now's the time.
I don't mind protecting myself and protecting others. And I wish that's the way, the world would look at it.
More than 2 years into this pandemic, COVID is still with us, but the world now has the tools to fight it. In Tarrant County, I'm Adriana D'Alba.
All right, so now this is what's interesting. Despite her last words, right, and again, pay close attention. They have a black person here getting the vaccine, so just pay very close attention to that. Despite what we saw there, and her last words being that now that we have the tools to deal with COVID-19, look at what is going on with COVID-19 now. Remember, we talked about those BA variants? Like clockwork, the BA variants ain't going anywhere. So let's listen to this real quick.
Tonight, as Americans gather, travel, and vacation in record pre-pandemic numbers, the U.S. may be quietly and rapidly moving towards a summer COVID surge.
There's no question in my mind that we're missing a vast majority of infections right now.
Omicron subvariant BA.5, the most contagious version of the virus yet, now dominant, making up more than 50% of new cases. And while there is no...
So now this is what I want to know. Why are we not hearing about this? See, I told you guys, remember? I told you guys, I was like, just because we're not hearing about COVID-19, that does not mean that it's gone away. It's still out there and it's still causing problems. But you got people out there that say that this isn't real.
Alarm at hospitals nationwide, many public COVID testing sites have shuttered, while at the same time, results from at-home test kits are going unreported.
The truth is there are probably several 100,000, 400,000 or 500,000 infections a day happening across the country.
Americans previously infected or protected by a vaccine are catching the virus at a worrisome rate. Even the boosted have gotten sick multiple times.
Now, what did that just say? Pay very close attention.
The truth is there are probably several 100,000, 400,000 or 500,000 infections a day happening across the country.
Americans previously infected or protected by a vaccine are catching the virus at a worrisome rate. Even the boosted have gotten sick multiple times.
So now here's my question. What now? That's the question. What now? Now, remember we talked about that long time ago. See, that's why it's important. If you guys have not been subscribed to the Black Light Revelations C19 Report channel, Make sure you guys binge watch all of the content. Check out all the videos. If you guys ever get any old videos from this channel on your home screen, watch them all the way through. We talked about all of this. U-Law was one of the first subscribers on this page when I didn't have any subscribers on here. We talked about all of this stuff.
Seeing a lot of reinfections within months of prior infections. It's a reminder that an infection does not give you lifelong immunity. It's also a reminder that we're seeing rapid evolution of a virus that's trying to escape that prior infection immunity.
With testing underway for a multi-pronged umbrella vaccine aimed at stopping future mutations, this fall
Yeah, and that's because their employers are telling them to. Their employers are telling them to come in and they'll make them work with patients who are already infected with COVID. Now, I want you guys to hear that, because they take people's videos down for saying stuff like that, but NBC is allowed to say it. So now, what's the difference between if I say something like this and NBC says it? That's how they did me, and they're not supposed to be doing that. If you have COVID, healthcare guidelines say that you can work, but you can only work on a COVID unit with people who are infected with COVID. If the state or Centers for Medicare and Medicaid find out about that, they can get in a lot of trouble. They can get in a lot of trouble for that. So if people know about that, they need to be reporting that to a government agency, because they're putting people at risk. I don't know where in God's name they would be doing that, but they're not supposed to be doing that. You got to show some kind of source about that, because I work directly with that kind of shit, and that's not allowed at all. And they make you test right at work, and you have to have 2 witnesses to see your test results. What state do you live in? Because in Ohio, we still have testing guidelines. Let me see. Let's see. Yeah, see, here's our guidelines right. Here's our guidelines right here. So I don't, you must, do you live in a state where like they just don't give a fuck about COVID, like Florida or some shit? Because it is definitely not like that here. Here's our COVID guidelines right here. Employees with symptoms who have been lab confirmed for COVID-19 who have not been tested should stay home until at least 10 days have passed since your symptoms began, and at least 24 hours with no fever or without use of fever reducing medication, and there has been no improvement of other systems. So this is coronavirus.ohio.org, or I'm sorry, .gov. Like, this is our state website. So I don't know what state you're in where they're doing that, but keyword symptoms after testing. Employees with symptoms who have lab confirmed COVID-19. Lab confirmed. That's symptoms is not the key word. Lab confirmed COVID-19 is. It says it right there. It's highlighted. Lab confirmed COVID-19. Even if you're suspected, you're not supposed to go to work. So even if you say symptoms, here in Ohio, even if you're suspected without a test, they don't want you coming to work. Look at this. Even without symptoms, they don't want you coming to work. Employees without symptoms who have lab confirmed COVID-19 should stay home until. So again, negates the keyword symptoms. That's not the key word. The key word is lab confirmed. Now, again, this is my state that I live in. I don't know what's going on in yours. So it could be different, but my state is strict. We're in the red right now. And it changes for if you're in the red versus if you're in the yellow versus if you're in the green. You know what I'm saying? We use PCR and antigen tests. We got to use them both. We got to get a weekly PCR test and a bi-weekly antigen test. So yeah, like again, your state might be different. This is Ohio. I live here and I have to go through this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're doing here. So what state do you live in? Because you just saw Ohio. And I'm not crazy. Like I remember putting swabs in my nose all the time. That shit is irritating and it's fucked up the inside of my nose.
Infected or protected by a vaccine are catching the virus at a worrisome rate. Even the boosted have gotten sick multiple times.
That's because you're in an ignorant ass red state. You're in a MAGA nation white supremacist Marjorie Taylor Greene state where they don't believe in C19. So that's why they don't give a fuck about what's going on. So that makes sense. Yeah, in Ohio, they let us have guns like them other states, but they ain't playing about COVID.
We are seeing a lot of reinfections within months of prior infections. It's a reminder that an infection does not give you lifelong immunity. It's also a reminder that we're seeing rapid evolution of a virus that's trying to escape that prior infection immunity.
With testing underway for a multi-pronged umbrella vaccine aimed at stopping future mutations, this fall, the U.S. is expected to roll out a booster.
So now look at this. They're working on another vaccine. So this is what I want to ask everybody in the comment section. Didn't they say that the original C19 virus vaccines that came out that were manufactured by Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson, and who was the other company? Who was the other company that made the vaccines? Yeah, they're strict about that shit. I don't know what the fuck they got going on in Georgia. That sounds insane. Moderna. Thanks, Mike. Do you guys recall when they first came out, they said that those vaccines were good for all variants? If you guys remember that, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you don't remember that, give me a thumbs down. So now my question is, if nothing has changed from when those were first produced, why are they working on this multi-pronged umbrella vaccine? I want y'all to listen to this again.
Lifelong immunity. It's also a reminder that we're seeing rapid evolution of a virus that's trying to escape that prior infection immunity.
With testing underway for a multi-pronged umbrella vaccine aimed at stopping future mutations, this fall, the U.S. is expected to roll out a booster targeting Omicron.
Are you concerned at all that the new vaccines won't be able to protect America?
Now, this is why it's important for everybody to binge watch all of the videos on this. I have videos where they literally said that they would not be specifically working on a particular vaccine specific for a particular variant. And then when Omicron happened, that's when there was talk of it. They started talking about it, but they didn't really say anything about putting it into motion. Now you see it's coming into motion. Remember what I said? One of the things that we need to do is come up with a C19 vaccine.
In the fall.
So I remain optimistic that however the virus evolves, the new vaccines will provide a greater degree of protection, certainly than the vaccines we have right now.
While a new poll says a majority of Americans are back to their pre-pandemic lives, tonight around 60% of the nation has already caught COVID, a number certain to climb.
And see that's exactly why I do listen. I listen to everything and I compare it, and that's how I know what I know about C19. That's why I tell everybody to watch all the videos on the channel.
Miguel Almaguer, NBC News.
All right, so there's that. All right. BA5 is now the dominant U.S. variant, and it may pose the biggest threat to immune protection. And as you guys can see, the numbers are going up. The numbers are going up. All right. We're going to look at something real quick, and then we're going to go back. I want to show you guys what's going on in Ohio. Ohio reports nearly 18,840 COVID-19 cases over the past week, and this was just from yesterday. This was just from yesterday. The Department of Health on Thursday reported nearly 18,840 new coronavirus cases for the past week. The state reported 18,838 new cases, 411 new hospitalizations, and 29 new ICU admissions. According to the Ohio Department of Health, the National Center for Health Statistics recently implemented a new coding system and is currently reprocessing all 2022 death files. Now, why would they do that? Why would they do this? What do you guys think about that? What's the benefit in doing this? See, that's kind of shady, isn't it? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 21 people watching. Shouts out to everybody that's watching. If everybody smashes that like button, we have 43 likes. So please smash that like button so we can get close to 100. Look at this. So now here is saying Ohio Department of Health will continue updating the total reported COVID-19 deaths, but will not resume reporting weekly trends until the reprocessing is caught up. So now, again, I got to go back and I got to ask, why are they reprocessing 2022 death files? And how will they reprocess 2022 death files when it's not even the end of 2022? Think about that. ODH started reporting coronavirus cases weekly instead of daily in March. There have been 2,867,291 cases and 119,650 hospitalizations in Ohio since the start of the pandemic. See? So what's interesting is that these numbers, they keep going up. They keep going up. And what I find even more interesting about it is that the monkeypox numbers are nowhere near those COVID-19 numbers. Nowhere near them. Nowhere near them at all. But monkeypox is in the news all the damn time. So my question for everybody is, why do you guys think that they're prioritizing monkeypox in the news over COVID-19? Is COVID-19 just legitimately out of style or what? So now this article right here is from July 6th. All right. So we keep track of this stuff so we can keep track of how they lie. So now here it says a new version of Omicron is dominant in the United States. The coronavirus subvariant known as BA5 accounted for nearly 54% of the country's COVID cases as of Saturday. All right. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, a similar subvariant, BA4, makes up 17% more. They're taking over, so clearly they're more contagious than earlier variants of Omicron. David Montefiore, a professor at the Human Vaccine Institute at Duke University Medical Center, said the two subvariants also appear to evade protection from vaccines, and previous infections are more easily than most of their predecessors. So you see this? These new subvariants specifically evade protection from vaccines and previous infections. Yeah, the deaths and the hospitalizations are way down because allegedly, according to them, because of the vaccine and because of immunity that people are getting. So that, I mean, that makes sense with epidemiological pattern. When it first happened, there was nobody getting any kind of treatment or anything whatsoever. But the problem is that people are still getting infected. Because as long as people are still getting infected, it could mutate. And as long as it keeps those infective properties, if it gets worse infective properties and causes more tissue damage like the original one that attacked people's lungs, that could be a problem. If it could cause harm like the original one and infect like Omicron, that's a problem. And as long as it's circulating, there's always a chance of that happening with the next mutation. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Montefiore estimated that BA4 and BA5 are about 3 times less sensitive to neutralizing antibodies from existing COVID vaccines than the original version of the Omicron variant, which is BA1. Other research suggests that BA4 and BA5 are 4 times more resistant to antibodies from vaccines than BA2, which replaced the Omicron variant as the U.S. dominant version of the coronavirus in April. Francis Bollocks, the director of the University College of London Genetics Institute, said that that's most likely another reason subvariants have taken over. At this stage now, I think all these variants actually are roughly equally transmissible. So there's not a huge difference, he said. It's just some are slightly better at infecting people. All right. So now here it says the Food and Drug Administration recommended last week modifying coming booster shots from Pfizer and Moderna to target BA4 and BA5 directly, which is interesting to me. So now here it says Pfizer has told NBC News that it could have an updated vaccine targeting BA4 and BA5 ready to be distributed in October. And I mean, not trying to be funny, but by the time October gets here, that's a long ass time away. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really far from now. So by that time, there'll probably be some new variants that may have some different properties and different sensitivities. So now these are the most common symptoms of BA4 and BA5. And it says in the UK, where BA4 and BA5 also account for the majority of new COVID cases, the most common COVID symptoms last week were runny nose, sore throat, headache, persistent cough, and fatigue. Less than 1/3 of people surveyed reported fevers, according to data from the ZO COVID symptom study, which asks people to self-report their symptoms through smartphone apps. That's consistent with the symptoms reported in the UK in the spring when BA2 subvariant was dominant. Bullock says there's no difference have been observed so far between BA4 or BA5 symptoms and those previous subvariants. But people who were infected with the original version of Omicron during the winter may be susceptible to the newer subvariants. BA1 and BA2 are pretty different, he said, so the cross protection is not so great. So now here's the doctor answering some questions about
travel
COVID.
pillows. We've been wearing them the wrong way.
Did you know you're supposed to twist the seasoning bottle, not shake it?
This is how you do bone-in chicken wing.
Twisted. Shut up.
Out to COVID as we're seeing another uptick in cases.
Yeah, at the peak of the Omicron wave back in January, we saw more than 1 million infections every day. That was at our peak. Well, now that daily number is now just about 96,000, but it is on the rise.
Yeah, so here to put this in perspective is NBC senior medical correspondent Dr. John Torres. Thank you for coming in.
You bet.
Again this morning. So let's talk about it a little bit. So COVID positive cases are up, deaths are on the rise again. But I guess if we put it in perspective, it's not doom and gloom, but it's still something we need to pay attention to.
It is, and it's something we need to pay close attention to because those numbers are rising. Like you mentioned, cases are going up, hospitalizations are going up, deaths are going up, unfortunately. But what's happening here is we know Omicron isn't as dangerous as Delta was back a year ago or so. But we do know that as the numbers go up, those other numbers of hospitalizations and deaths will go up as well. And so they need to be protected. The bottom protection is getting the vaccines and the boosters like you're supposed to get them at those stages. And then in the fall, they're talking about producing a new booster that actually has Omicron variant in that. So that's going to help as well. And then bringing back the masks. That's the big issue
Yeah, I wondered about that.
And so, to be clear, though, we're still, in terms of deaths, not to minimize death, but we're talking about 200 a day, 200 deaths a day.
Right around 300 a day. Yeah, and if you look at what's happening, I look back a month ago, we were essentially the same thing. Right now, we're about 300 deaths a day, 300 deaths a day about a month ago, 100,000 cases a day around there, 100,000 cases a month ago. So the problem is it's plateaued out and hasn't come lower, which that's the first time we've seen that, because usually after a couple of weeks, it drops significantly.
The folks who are dying, what do we know? I mean, has that changed at all, or is it still roughly the elderly and those with the underlying conditions?
And that has not changed. It's still the elderly, those with underlying conditions, and they're starting to see unvaccinated as well get into trouble with the serious illness, hospitalizations, and deaths. And so
Paxlovid, we understand pharmacists can prescribe it now, antiviral, but there's a catch.
That's the new.
Well, just really quickly, for people who don't know. So if I have COVID, if I'm okay, then I wouldn't take Paxlovid. But if I'm having severe symptoms, is that when you go and ask for it?
That's when you go and ask for Paxlovid to make sure that you stay out of the hospital. That's its claim to fame. It's an antiviral medication, but there is a bit of a catch because what they said is, they know people are having troubles going to the pharmacies and getting their doctors to prescribe it. And so they said pharmacists can prescribe it, but the catch is the pharmacists have to have access to your medical records. They have to have your medical records and certain blood tests because they have to know if your kidneys and liver is working well. And if they don't have those, they can call your doctor. And the big question is, well, what if I don't have a doctor? In this case, it's probably not going to help you a whole lot. You're probably going to need to go to somebody to get that prescription. So it's another tool in our tool bag just to help us out.
If you have kids over the age of 5, because I know the vaccine was just approved for kids under 5, is it time for them to get a booster?
So, over the age of 5, they can get a booster. Anybody over the age of 5 can get a booster. And we have a graphic of the boosters and when you can get them because it's very complicated. So booster number 1, 5 months after you get your second dose, everybody 5 and older. Booster number 2, it's 4 months after you get that first booster. And that one they're reserving for 50-year-olds and those who are immunocompromised. And so, again, it can be kind of complicated, but that's, remember back in the day.
It's pretty complicated. That was a lot of information to digest. We'll put it on the website for folks who maybe didn't catch all of that. Long COVID, my wife is one of the folks who suffers from long COVID. Have we learned anything more about it, or is it Still a bit of a mystery.
It's still a bit of a mystery, but we are learning more as time goes on. One of the things we're learning is, unfortunately, is more and more symptoms are coming along with long COVID. And so people are reporting different kinds of symptoms, including like skin peeling, those types of things that we hadn't heard about before. The other thing is, it seems like the more times you catch COVID, the more likely you are to get long COVID. And so protecting yourself from getting it is important. On the good side of the news, it seems like Omicron doesn't lend itself to long COVID as much as Delta did. And so that's the good part of all this.
Okay.
But again, you want to make sure you protect yourselves. Masks, I carry it with me. I wear it everywhere I go that I'm around crowded
still
people.
wear it?
I still wear it. I'm one of the few. I wear it on the airplane. I wear it in the subways. I wear it if I'm around people that are crowded. And so, you know, the other thing too is the graphic showing us there is if you are exposed, if you do test positive or you have symptoms, you need to isolate yourself. Remember the isolation rules, and you can go to the CDC site. They actually have an isolation calculator because it's pretty complicated. If I was testing positive today, today's day 0, I have to go 5 days beyond today, which means I get out of isolation next Wednesday.
Wow. Okay.
And so you can go to that calculator and it can help you calculate isolation and the quarantine guidelines.
Thank you, Doc.
All right, so there's that. So now here it says, Bollocks added that BA2, BA4, and BA5 from a neutralizing antibody perspective are essentially interchangeable. That might mean that people who got BA2 infections have some protection now. Montefiore said BA4 and BA5 also haven't been found to cause more serious disease. All right. So now here it says there are really no clear evidence that they're more or less likely to make people sick and cause severe illness and death, he said. Rather, rises in cases and hospitalizations observed in some places more likely to do with fading vaccine protection. We have waning immunity now in people who got boosted half a year ago, Montefiore said. We will need more booster shots and when. The FDA estimates that Omicron-specific boosters from Pfizer and Moderna will become available in early to mid-fall. The companies are now scurrying to make the BA4, BA5 containing vaccine and test that clinically, Montefiore said. So they're actively working on this new vaccine. They're actively working on this new vaccine. Now, here's my question. How many of you guys going to go get this new vaccine? If you guys going to get that new vaccine, give me a thumbs up. If you're not going to give me that get that new vaccine, give me a laughing emoji in the comment section. So now here it says, but experts stress that there may not be a dramatic difference in protection between additional boost of current vaccines and Omicron-specific shots. Current vaccines will still work well to prevent severe illness and death. The virus is moving in a direction of escaping our vaccines more and more, but it has not found a way to escape the vaccines to a really significant degree, Montefiore says. So what the hell does this mean? The virus is moving in a direction of escaping our vaccines more and more, but it has not found a way to escape the vaccines to a significant degree. Facts. I've been wearing a mask since before the pandemic. That's a fact. Shouts out to Honda 666. What up with it? That's a big fact. For that reason, he added, people eligible for second boosters, those over 50 and immunocompromised, may not want to wait. If your last booster was over 6 months ago, you might want to consider getting boosted again now with the current vaccine to keep your protection strong while we're still getting through this pandemic, Montefiore said. I mean, my question is, they keep telling people to do this. Right, Val. If you guys agree with Val, give me a thumbs up here. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Like, that seems to be the long-term plan. I mean, that seems like what the long-term plan is. So now it says, in addition, Bullock said it's hard to predict whether BA5 will still be dominant later this year. Right. And what's going to end up happening later this year is that's when they claim that vaccine is going to be ready in October. Given the uncertainty, there's no right or wrong, he said. There are only trade-offs. So now here, this is talking about Europe and South Africa offer a preview of what comes next. All right. Reported COVID case numbers have stayed relatively flat in the United States since May, but case numbers are on the rise globally. See? Yeah, I heard that too. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker. I had an article about it, but I can't remember what I did with it. So now here it says by the end of June, new weekly cases were up by 32% in Southeast Asia, in Europe 47%, in the region comprising the Middle East and Central Asia, North Africa, and the Horn of Africa, the World Health Organization said. As of June 19th, BA5 accounted for 43% of Omicron cases worldwide. BA4 accounted for 12%. South Africa had a surge in cases driven by BA4 and BA5 this spring, and COVID hospitalizations are rising. So the hospitalizations are rising, which is interesting. In the UK, experts said the trend's likely to indicate that the virus is getting better at reinfecting people and invading vaccine protection, which is interesting because that's still the major way that they plan on dealing with this so far. So now, what do you guys think about all this? All of this, all I got to say is watch the old videos. Still, the future of the pandemic will depend not just on the properties of the variants, but also on human behavior and how much immunity has built up in the population. Now, shouts out to my man Fantizzi. We actually talked about immunity and herd immunity and the best way to develop immunity. Somehow YouTube didn't take that video down, but people tend to overestimate actually how much the virus has changed recently, Bellick says. There was a massive change between Delta and Omicron, and then there was, again, a fairly massive change between BA1 and BA2. That's not quite the case with BA4 and BA5, he said, although he noted another major shift in the virus's evolution could still come. I'm not saying it won't happen, he said. So there's that. So there's that. So my question for you guys is, what do you guys think about that? Look, I ain't mad at it, Val. I'm not mad at it at all. I don't know if you guys knew, but according to the National Institute of Health, COVID-19 was the third leading cause of death in the United States in both 2020 and in 2021. The leading cause of death. This article was written on July 5th of 2022. So as you guys can see, like, these are new articles. Like, this isn't old stuff that I'm pulling up from the old COVID-19 information that I have on the channel. This is new. This is new and updated. You know what I'm saying? So take that into consideration. This is all new information. So now here it says COVID-19 was the third leading cause of death in the United States between March of 2020 and October of 2021, according to an analysis of national death certificate data by researchers at the National Cancer Institute. And that's part of a national, which is part of the National Institute of Health. Okay. This particular study appears July 5th in the JAMA Internal Medicine Journal. All right. During the 21-month period studied, COVID-19 accounted for 1 in 8 deaths, or 350,000 deaths in the United States. Heart disease was the #1 cause of death, followed by cancer, with these two causes of death accounting for a total of 1.29 million deaths. So what I want you guys to think about is think about how much of a market share that is for a business that would specifically deal with heart failure and cancer and help to prolong and improve people's outcomes. And yeah, I believe they did, Val, and I think that's another reason why they're probably reprocessing those numbers like they're doing in Ohio. You see, heart disease was the #1 cause of death, followed by cancer, with these two causes of death accounting for 1.29 million deaths. Accidents and strokes were the 4th and 5th leading causes. In every age group 15 years and older, COVID-19 was of the top 5 causes of death during this period. Okay. So now here it says when authors analyzed deaths in 2020, March through December, and 2021, which was January through October separately, they found that in 2020, COVID-19 was the 4th and 5th leading cause of death among people 45 through 54 and 35 through 44 respectively. But in 2021, COVID-19 came in 1st and 2nd leading cause of death in these age groups. Among 85 and older, COVID-19 was the 2nd leading cause of death in 2020, but dropped to 3rd in 2021, likely because of targeted vaccination efforts in this age group. Okay. The pandemic also had an indirect effect on other causes of death in the United States. Now, this kind of talks about what Carla was talking about. The pandemic also had an indirect effect on other causes of death in the United States. So that's one of the reasons why on this channel, in addition to COVID-19, we're going to talk about other topics, other healthcare topics. Because as you can see, they're all related. You know what I'm saying? They're all related. So now here it says past data have shown that deaths from other causes, including heart disease, accidents, strokes, Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, increased from 2019 to 2020, possibly because people were reluctant to seek medical care for fear of catching COVID. Now, how accurate do you think that is? You guys think that that's pretty accurate? If you guys think that that's accurate, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that that's accurate, give me a thumbs down. Additional impacts of the pandemic on other causes of death may emerge in the years to come, the researchers said. For example, the pandemic prevented many people from getting regular cancer screenings, which may result in future increases of cancer deaths. All right. So there's that. So what I think that I'm going to do is I think we are going to end this live stream here. All right. And what I'm going to do is the other video, the other content that I had, I'm going to make some short videos for it. All right. And we're going to premiere them on this channel. Okay. So be looking for the premiere window. All right. And also, if you guys are not subscribed to Reality Check Virtual Radio Blacklight Revelations podcast, me and Izzy are going live on Monday on that channel. So if you guys enjoy the Reality Check Virtual Radio Blacklight Revelations podcast, it's got its own channel. Make sure that you guys subscribe to it. Me and Izzy will be live on Monday on that channel at some point. All right. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. If you're not subscribed to the channel, y'all already know what to do. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Make sure y'all hit the bell icon twice. Share the video out. Make sure you tell your friends, and I will catch you all on the next video. All right. Peace.